All right, so welcome to another wonderful programming session. So we're going to be looking at arrays in JavaScript and programming in general. So what arrays are? So this is a data type in programming. Remember, we have different type of data types. We have data types like, so I think this note has that information for us. So let's just go through it. It said, in programming, an array is a collection of items of the same data type stored at contiguous memory locations. Arrays are used to store multiple values of the same data type together. This makes them a useful data structure for storing collections of data such as lists of numbers, strings, or objects. So we have data types like arrays, we have strings, we have integers, we have boolean, we have sets, we have lists. All of these are data types, and we're going to be looking at arrays. So one of the key characteristics of an array is that it has a fixed size. So once an array is created, its size cannot be changed. Elements access, you can access elements in the array. So remember, an array is a collection of items, so you can access these items. Contiguous memory, the elements of an array are stored in contiguous memory locations. So let's look at application of arrays, like where does this apply? In storing data, arrays are commonly used to store collections of data such as lists of numbers, strings, or objects, or whatever. Arrays is used to store data. That is the point. Remember, variables are to store data. Variables are to store data. An array is a collection of different items, so stored in the same place. So these items, they must have the same data type. So for example, an array cannot contain a number and string together. You get? So they have to be of the same data type. So application of array, implementing data structures. Arrays are used to implement other data structures such as lists. So data structure like lists, stacks, and queues, they are all data structures. Performance optimization. Arrays can be used to improve the performance of algorithms that operate on collections of data. So let's look at a scenario. Imagine you are running an online store that sells different types of fruits. You want to keep track of this inventory you get. The solution for this could be you can use an array to store the inventory. Let's say, for example, we want to store fruits. We can use an array to do that. And that's what we have here. We have const fruit inventory, which is the name of the array. So, and is set equal to, we have our fruits that we are storing here. So this array stores the names of the fruits in the inventory as well as the number of each fruit in stock. So accessing elements, array element, to access an element in an array, you can use the square bracket notation. So let's quickly do a quick example of this. I'm going to come straight here. Then I will just go straight to the console. Let's come to inspect and console. Okay. So we have this. Let's quickly create our array. So const fruit inventory. We'll set it equals to. So to create an array, you need the square brackets. Then the items that you want. So we are making for fruit. So we will have apples, comma, and let's say we have like 8. Let's remove these numbers. Let's not complicate things. Okay. So we have oranges, comma. We have borders. Let's say mangoes. So you can add more elements that you want to have to this. So we have our array. We've created an array here with the name of the array as fruits inventory. So we can access elements of this array. For example, if we want the first element, which is apple, we can access that by doing this. So when we say fruits, that is the name of the array, and then we put our curly brackets here, and we put the index value of that particular element. So in this the apple takes index value of 0, orange is 1, mangoes is 2. So normally if you're counting these elements, you will say 1, 2, 3. But in programming, when we are checking index value of numbers, it always starts from 0, and the number keeps increasing. But if we are counting from the back, it starts from -1 and it keeps reducing. So this will be -1, -2 for orange, and apples will take -3. So in this case, when we say, for example, we are doing fruits inventory and we are taking 1. So if we hit enter, you see that we get apples here, right? Let's say we want to get the last one by using the other format, by reversing this. So we'll say fruits inventory, and we always put this and we say -1. Okay, I think this is in Python and not in JavaScript, but let's see if this works. So this will not work on, okay, sorry, I need to add .log. So let's hope this works. It didn't work. So this is not really applicable to this. I think this can work in Python, though I don't know about JavaScript. So in essence, we can access elements by calling the name of the array and then what number does that element represent in the array. So if we want oranges, we just put in 1 and we get that. So back to our notes. To access an element, we've done that. So although what we have here is const first fruit equal to, because we want to get the first fruit, so we are accessing it and we are storing it in a variable called first fruit. So iterating over arrays, you can iterate over the elements in an array using a for loop or for each loop. So for example, we can iterate over these elements by using a for loop. What iteration means is this: like perform function or action on the elements in the array. Let's say you want to do for 1, 2, and 3. So we can use a for loop for that. Let's see this example using for loop. So for, and so this is the syntax for for loop. We know this already. So for let I equal to 0, I is less than fruit inventory dot length. So fruit inventory dot length, which is the length of the items we have here. So if we say fruit inventory dot length, and we're having 3 here, because we have how many items? We have 1, 2, 3. But when we are checking the index value of this, we're going to have how many? We'll be having 0, 1, and 2. But for length, they are standing as number 1, number 2, number 3. So let's get the for loop working. So we say for let I. So I can be anything. Let I, and that's what we're setting this equal to 0. And we're closing this and we're saying I is less than our fruit inventory, and then we're closing this, and then let's increase I by doing I plus plus. So now let's perform the function that we want to do here. So we want to say console.log. So we can perform any function we want to do here. We can say let's perform console.log I, right? So this will console log each of the items. So it will console log apples, oranges, and mangoes. We can as well want to make this, yeah. So let's hit enter and see what this gives us. Undefined. So the reason we're getting undefined is because of console.log I. So let's quickly change that for let I equal to 0. Then we close this. Then we do I is less than fruit inventory I plus plus. So we do like this, and we say console dot log fruits inventory. So let's hope this works for us. Undefined as well. But I believe if we are using our Visual Studio for this, it will change it. It will make it. But let's copy exactly what we have here. So we have first fruits inventory I. Okay. So let's take this and okay, dot length. I think this is where we are having issues. Dot length. I think that's where the issue is coming from. So you can see, rather what it's doing is, because we are saying console.log fruit inventory, so it's going to console log all of the items 3 times because we have 3 fruit inventory there. But if we console logged I, it's going to log one apples, then the next one will be oranges, the next one will be mangoes. So let's try it and see. So let's try and see. Rather is console logging the index value of it. So let's say we want the fruit itself, not the index value. You can say fruit inventory, then remember how we get this to get the index value. But in this case, we are not putting the index value, rather we are putting I because I is now taking the index value. So when we do this, it gives us apples, oranges, and mangoes. So that's for iterating over. So adding and removing elements, that will be in the next video. Let me quickly send this so it will be very, very short. So